Hello, and welcome to tonight's program. The Golden Jubilee is an honored tradition at Wayne State. Tonight's program is a little unconventional, as it marks the first time that we've celebrated this milestone virtually. But the 50th anniversary of your graduation from Wayne State University is a very special occasion, and we did not want to let any more time go by without honoring and celebrating you. As you view this video, please take the opportunity to greet each other in the live chat feature. It may not be the same as in person, but you just never know who you might reconnect with during this program. Tonight we celebrate the classes of 1970 and 1971. Back then, 50 or 51 years may have seemed so far away, but I'm sure you're asking yourself, where did that time go? No matter where your lives and careers have taken you, we at the Alumni Association applaud you for taking that journey, for your wisdom, for your willingness always to learn new things, to take on new responsibilities, to find new passions. And we thank you for sharing those experiences with us. We also appreciate your gifts of dedicated service and goodwill. Truly, you represent all that made you Tartars and continue to keep you warriors. I invite you to return to visit the campus when it's safe and to see all of the changes that time has brought. Until then, you can take a virtual tour by visiting the Golden Jubilee website. We will also continue to post photos and memories there after this evening to keep the celebration going throughout the year. Keeping with tradition, the Golden Jubilee is a time when we honor some of our newest alumni with two of our most prestigious alumni awards, the David D. Henry and Howard A. Donnelly Awards. These awards are given to students who demonstrate leadership and service while maintaining high scholarship during their undergraduate studies. These awards come with an incredibly long legacy. The Howard A. Donnelly Award was established in 1927, and the David D. Henry Award was established in 1948. The classes of 1970 and 1971 were represented by 8 award winners. You may recognize these names. From the class of 1970, Barbara Kosierczynski, Josephine Powell, Dennis Teeney, and Anthony Stovall. From the class of 1971, Robert Crawford, Joyce Hartsfeld, France Jackson, and James Stone. This year, I'm pleased to present the awardees of the class of 2021. David D. Henry Award recipients are Michelle Wessner and Kirsten Hubbard. And the Howard A. Donnelly Award recipients are Spencer Heisha and Cassidy Wood. Now I'd like to introduce Dean John Corvino. John is the Dean of the Irvin D. Reed Honors College, or the most recent iteration of the Monteith College many of you may have been a part of. He's here with a special update from the university. Welcome, Dean Corvino.
Greetings, Wayne State University class of 1970 and 1971. I'm John Corvino, Dean of the Irvin D. Reed Honors College at Wayne State University, and I congratulate you on your Golden Jubilee. The Irvin D. Reed Honors College is part of a long history of honors education at Wayne State, which includes Monteith College, which many of you may remember better from your time on the Wayne State campus. This, of course, has been a challenging year on the Wayne State campus, and I say on the Wayne State campus, even though much of what we've been doing remotely. we have made the transition to online instruction and online learning. In fact, many of our students, particularly our first-year students, have never actually set foot on campus. When we do go out into public, we wear face coverings. We even have these Wayne State branded face coverings, because why miss an opportunity for Wayne State spirit? And we've learned to be creative about so many things. In fact, some of us have even learned to cut our own hair at home. My point is that we have had many challenges, and we have faced those challenges, and not just challenges related to the pandemic. It has been a polarizing election year. There has been racial injustice and accompanying unrest. We as a campus community have faced all of that together, and we've been able to do that because of who we are at Wayne State, ways in which we have changed since the 50 or so years since you have been on campus, and ways in which we have not changed. And I'd like to say a bit about both of those things, because we have changed a great deal on our campus, but not in the fundamental important ways. First, how have we changed? Well, some of those changes have been obvious surface changes. We're warriors now, not Tartars. We call the area around campus Midtown, not the Cass Corridor. And when people go out shopping in Midtown, they go to Whole Foods and Shinola. They don't go downtown to Hudson's or Crowley's. But it's not just been about surface changes. You will notice that even during a pandemic, there are other universities that are putting up banners along Woodward and opening extension campuses. We welcome them, but one thing they do not have is the long 150-year plus series of relationships that we have with the surrounding community, the philanthropic community, the business community, the medical community, and so on. People talk about the renewed energy in Detroit, and that's something that's been particularly exciting to me as someone who has been at Wayne State University for 23 years. I came as a philosophy lecturer in 1998. Back when I first came to Wayne State, when I would go and travel in the late 90s and early 2000s, and people would ask me where I was from, and I would say Detroit, they would say things like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." How rude is that, by the way? Before the pandemic, when I was traveling and I would tell people I was from Detroit, they would say things like, "Oh, how exciting. I hear about the great art scene in Detroit. I hear about the great restaurant scene in Detroit. I hear about all of the exciting things that are happening." And there are many exciting things happening, and exciting things that have continued despite the challenges of the pandemic. And Wayne State has been a part of so many of those things. And we've been a part of those things because of the ways that we haven't changed since you were students at Wayne State. We continue to be a welcoming campus, a hardworking campus, and a diverse campus. With respect to being a welcoming campus, I think this is one of our defining characteristics at Wayne State University. It's something that I've experienced in all of my years at Wayne State. When I talk to my honors students, of course, I have many amazing students in the Honors College, and many of them were invited to join other universities as well. And so I asked them, what made you decide to come to Wayne State? And of course, they talk about, Wayne State being in Detroit. Wayne State is a place of access. Wayne State is having many opportunities with respect to programs and majors and research and things like that. But I remember a story that one student told me, brilliant student, and she visited many campuses. And she said, "You know what? I don't have a great sense of direction, so I often get lost." And Wayne State was the only campus that when I visited and people saw that I was looking around, they said, "You look like you might be lost. Can I help you find something?" Now, that's a simple story, but I think it says something about who we are and why we are able to be the kind of place of access that we are at Wayne State. And we've continued that even during the pandemic, even as we've had to do it through things like Zoom and video tours and social media and other forms of outreach. We also continue to be a hardworking campus, a place where we roll up our sleeves and get things done. And that, of course, has been especially important in the last year. I am so impressed by the way our faculty and our students made the quick pivot to online learning and online instruction because they knew we did not have time to waste. I'm also impressed by how well we have managed to keep our campus safe and keep our campus moving forward. Thanks to the leadership of President Wilson and Interim Provost Clabo, and thanks to the hard work of so many people across campus, the Coronavirus Task Force, the Restart Committee, and our students, faculty, and staff, all working together to get it done. And we continue to be an amazingly diverse campus, and diverse across diverse axes. Diverse in terms of race and ethnicity, diverse in terms of religion, in terms of culture, in terms of political affiliation, in terms of majors and areas of interest. And that creates a wonderful synergy on our campus that is so much a part of the learning experience. And I know that that has been true for decades. I know that that was probably part of your experience at Wayne State. And I find this contrast is particularly salient when I talk to friends at other universities who, tell me stories of places that are not quite as welcoming, that do not have the same resilience and industry and grit, that do not have the same diversity, that often face challenges as a result of lacking some of those things. Not long ago, I was talking to a friend who works at an Ivy League university and was describing some challenges related to an incident on campus where someone had posted something about an insensitive Halloween costume. And then there was some sort of Twitter war around that. And then there were protests and counter protests and all kinds of discussions about free speech and cancel culture and all of that. And the friend said to me, "Do you face those kinds of challenges at Wayne State?" And I said, "Not quite so much." And it's certainly not because our students don't care about social justice. In fact, they are very concerned about social justice. I think the main thing is it's because our students have things to do. They have classes, they have jobs, they have family obligations, they have service obligations, they have research obligations. They have so many things that they need to get done. And if they think that you're being insensitive with your Halloween costume, for example, they will tell you, because we keep it real here on the Wayne State campus, and then they will move on with their lives because they recognize that social justice isn't about hand-wringing on Twitter. It's about meaningful action for change. And I am so proud of our students for the kind of meaningful things that they have done, particularly in the last year as they have recognized the disparities and inequities during the pandemic that have been heightened during the pandemic because of people's lack of access to Wi-Fi, because of people's lack of access to transportation, and other things that many of us have taken for granted for so long. And we at Wayne State have stepped up to the plate. We have helped our campus community and our students, and we have reached out to help the larger community as well, because of the kinds of people that we are and have been for so long: a welcoming place, a hardworking place, a diverse place. I am proud to be part of such a campus, and I thank you for being part of our alumni family and for your ongoing support. I look forward to a time when I can celebrate with you in person and congratulate you on 50+ years of alumni status. Until then, I hope you and your loved ones stay safe and warrior, or if you prefer, Tartar strong. Please take care of yourself and one another, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for that wonderful perspective. As our program comes to a close, I would like to invite you to join me in a toast. I hope you have your favorite beverage or holder nearby. We may not be together in person, but we can all share the good wishes and happy memories. I hope you recognized some classmates and saw some things in this video that brought back a lot of good memories. Above all, I hope you know how much we appreciate each and every one of you. And now for a toast. To the class of 1970 and to the class of 1971, your journey as a student started in what many called unprecedented times. Little did we know how appropriate that word would be 50 years later as well. Congratulations on your 50-year journey and continued success, health, and happiness. Cheers. Thank you all for joining us this evening. I do hope you will stay in touch with us and each other and continue to remember your memorable times at Wayne State. Good night.